Hi everyone, my name is Mz Tara Belle on Instagram. My actual name is Tara Gyemibi, and you're listening to So Book and Cool.
Welcome to So Book and Cool, it's Jewel B. And this episode I chatted with a PharmD MBA candidate who is also a registered respiratory therapist, and she is an influencer for the natural hair movement. You might know her as Mz Tara Belle. Check out my interview with Tara Gyemibi.
What is your story, Tara?
Basically, I was born in the United States. My parents, I like to say, shipped me back home to Ghana, West Africa, where I was raised. I went to junior high school, senior high school back in Ghana, and I came back here for college. And do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I came here. I studied respiratory therapy at Stony Brook University, and then I graduated, worked at NYU as a therapist, and then I decided to go back to pursue my PharmD MBA, which I am currently pursuing in my 5th year, and here I am.
Wow. Okay, so clearly very, very accomplished. Do you have any tips? What is your advice, by the way?
My advice as to balancing, how I balance?
Yes, how you balance, and anyone who is balancing different studies and wants to be in your position basically as well, all the students.
So in terms of balancing, I usually like to I like to answer it in 3 ways. So the first one is just know yourself. In the sense that I've always kind of juggled 2 different things at once. When I was growing up back in Ghana, I was a student, but at the same time, I was a school prefect, they call it, but over here you would say school president. So I was a school president, and then I also took up a school protocol prefect leadership role in high school. So I've always been the type to always juggle different things. Growing up, they actually identified me as an overachiever because I would do so many different things. So that's one thing I would tell everybody: know your limitations, know who you are, and know what you can do. The second thing I would say is take your time, take it a day at a time. Planning ahead is great, but it's always important to take it a day at a time because you're able to focus all your efforts on whatever it is that you have to do in front of you for today. And then the third thing I would say is that you cannot do it all. You cannot, even me, when I'm producing content for my my social media platform, I'm not, I'm losing on time that I'm supposed to be studying, or when I'm studying, I'm not spending quality time with my fiance or, my friends and family. So, yeah, that's the little advice I would give on balancing.
Speaking of life and balancing, I know that you believe in vision boarding. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So what is it about vision boarding that resonates with you? Why is it effective, do you think?
So, first of all, the type that I study, I'm a visual learner. So I like the whole visual, that's how I study. That's how I'm able to memorize. Even when I'm studying the medications, I like to see the bottle. That helps to get the information in my head and for me to, recall it, quickly. So I'm always a visual learner. I'm that type of person. So vision board, it's essentially just having visual pictures of whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever you want to accomplish in the future, and just having it right in front of you. And yeah, that's just my personal take on that.
Okay. Yeah, I love vision boards too. I haven't ever created one myself, but it seems like a great idea. Tara, also, what is an influencer?
So an influencer, it's, in my opinion, is somebody that has a strong conviction, a strong passion about something, and they decide to share it with the people around them, and the people around them actually are receptive to it, and they decide to follow whatever it is that they decide to talk about or share with people.
Mm-hmm. So did you foresee that you would become a natural hair influencer, and what has the journey been like so far?
Right. Actually, absolutely not. I did not foresee it. It wasn't something I was planning. None of that. So for me, it started when I basically decided to make my Instagram profile public. I don't remember why I did that, but I made it public one time, and then I posted a picture of, it was my birthday, and I did a natural hairstyle, and I posted the picture on my social media account. And for some reason, natural hair pages just reposted it, and another page reposted it, and it just went on and on and on, and the picture went viral. So that's how it started for me. And then I started getting a lot of emails in my, inbox, my direct messaging. How do I take care of my hair? What is it that I'm doing? Can I give them any product recommendations? And so that's how it basically started for me. Yeah.
Was it something then that you had to put work into, like when you saw that you were becoming in demand and stuff,
Right. So when that happened, I had a lot of requests. People just started following me because, like I said, at that time my page was public, but I don't really remember why I put my page public at that time, but it was public, so people just started following me, and my following went up, and then companies started reaching out to me that, they would like me to just try out their products and just review it. So at that time, my fiance, he's a business guy. So he just told me, he's like, you know what, this is actually an opportunity. Let's take advantage of it. So he made us he created a professional email, a separate email where I would use that to contact my, all the companies that try to reach out to me. And that's how it basically started off. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm not surprised. Like how everyone will see too. You are so pretty, like just beautiful in the hair and stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. So what are some things that people like should know about natural hair?
Okay, so you mean in terms of the types or the products, or what specifically?
Yeah, let's talk about the types. Let's talk about the 4A, 4B, 4C for those who don't know.
Right. So 4A, 4B, 4C is it's typing. They call it the Afro textured hair typing classification, you would call it. So it helps women of color identify what curl pattern they have. So someone that is someone like me, I have different textures, curl patterns in my hair. I have a little bit of 4B, but mostly I would say my hair is a 4C type, which 4C basically means that the curl pattern is tightly coiled. So the curls are much tighter, and the 4B is much looser curl than the 4C, and the 4A is a much more looser curl. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what that is.
Yeah, it does. I wonder how that got started too, like distinguishing it.
I don't know how it started. When I started going natural, I did not even know all of these classifications myself. But so my natural hair journey actually started when I was in college, Stony Brook University, when I was pursuing my respiratory degree. And I had a roommate. She was natural, and then she tried to convince me for the longest time to go natural, but I wasn't for natural hair at the time because I really enjoyed my Dominican blowouts, and she was not going to convince me. So she still tried. She still, she would sit with me at night when we had nothing to do, and then we watched all the natural hair girls on YouTube, talking about the different hair textures and, the 4A, 4B, 4C. And then her name is Sophia, by the way, she would explain to me in detail what everything was. And it wasn't even something that I was interested in, but I would just listen anyway because she was just funny, and we had a good time, and that's how it was. So I really don't know the history of it, but I got to know about it from my roommate, Sophia.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can we shout out Sophia? Or
yeah, shout out to Sophia. Sophia, thank you, girl.
And, as an influencer, Tara, what is the most effective way do you find is to reach your audience?
So the most effective way to reach my audience, because I think every influencer has their own unique ways to reach their audience. I find that videos actually has a much wider reach in terms of who gets to view your account, because pictures right now is very common, I would say. A lot of people just post pictures, and I feel like people are desensitized to it, so they just see a picture and they just scroll. But for videos, there's something about a video that if it starts off right, it gets somebody to pause and to look at it. So for me, it's videos.
Wow, that's very interesting. So how long should the videos be?
So Instagram has a 1 minute, regardless of whatever or whoever is posting. It's a standard 1 minute video for Instagram. And then YouTube, you can do as much as you want. But for Instagram, it's just 1 minute. And for me, I mostly, even though I have a YouTube account, I mostly do Instagrams because it's much shorter. And I actually enjoy Instagram because YouTube takes a lot of time for me. So I would rather do it 1 minute sometimes. And then, if I have to do the YouTube, if I'm reviewing a product for a company, then so be it. I use YouTube. But then for the most part, I use Instagram.
Are there any influencers at all who you keep up with when you have the time?
Oh, yes. Actually, let me say I have my own friends. I would say Instagram friends.
Nice.
Natural hair Instagram influencer friends, but not keeping up with them, not necessarily. I don't have the time, unfortunately, but we talk about it. We talk about it like, we should hang out, we should do something together, but it just never happens.
You answered a question too that I had wanted to ask, like about is there a community, amongst the influencers, specifically the natural haired influencers?
Yes, there is. There's actually a huge community, but it all depends on the influencers and like who you believe you have more of similar goals in mind. So some influencers, apart from influencing, they all do different things as their side job or as their main job, who they are as a person. So it's more of who you can connect to and who you would like to, share ideas with or just collaborate with. And
what are your thoughts on, because for you, I feel like your story happened like really organically and you were able to leverage it as well. But I'm saying
right.
So what do you say then for people who maybe they haven't been found yet, but they still want to try to become an influencer? So like, what does that entail? What do they need to do?
Right. So for me personally, and I like that you said it's very organic, I believe you have to be authentic and you have to be very genuine. Like don't overforce it. If, just because everybody is doing it, so I have to do it. No. Just really analyze why you want to do it. Go back to the reason why you want to do it and what is it that you're trying to convey or to portray to other people. What is it that you want them to see, or what is it that you want to share with them or to influence them or to inspire them or whatever it is. Just really be truthful to to yourself before you start, because, you cannot be doing it because somebody else wants to do it. You should do it because you want to do it and you really have a good, reason, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I have to ask also, on So Booking Cool, are there any books that you have read recently or want to read? You have any favorite authors at all?
Oh, yes. I love
Yes.
Becoming by Michelle
Ooh.
Obama. In fact, like, she's one of my idols. Oprah, Sarah Blakely. Yeah, I love them. And a few other people. I love Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. I love, I can't even remember the rest of the books because I'm just thinking pharmacy school right now.
Right,
I'm just thinking school. But when I get the chance, I try to read all of these books by these motivational books.
Nice.
Yeah.
So would you ever write a book of your own?
Yes, I would love to in the future. Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's awesome to hear. Really,
Yeah.
it is. What are your final thoughts then, I would say, for education and entrepreneurs / self-starters and influencers?
Okay. Do you want me to just answer everything in one?
Yeah, however way you want.
Okay. So for education, my thoughts on it, education is great. Education is what everyone needs to inspire to, go to school, go to college, get a degree. And it's not just a degree, but just don't study just to study because you want to know the material to help people, to affect lives, to inspire change. And yeah, those are my thoughts on education. And then the second one you said was on influence, correct?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. So for influence, I think you need to be authentic, true to your core. Just don't do it because everybody else is doing it. Just do it because you feel that spark, you feel that your instinct tells you to do it, and just go for it, regardless of whatever anyone says. Just do it because you want to do it and you want to inspire people. Again, back to my first one with education, but I think that runs across everything. Whatever you do in life, do it because you want to do it, and be truthful to your core. And just try to help the people around you.
And how can the natural hair community, as strong as it is, how can it get even stronger? Like, what do you think can be done to make it even better? What's the community in need of, would you say?
I think right now, I think it's strong. It's getting better and better. When I went natural in the beginning, a lot of women, a lot of people of color, even though they were natural, they weren't really embracing it. And I can speak to it because I went through that personal experience, in the sense that when I went natural, even though I've been natural in total for about 7 years now, my first 4 years, I wasn't necessarily embracing it, in the sense that even though I had natural hair, I would still wear weaves and wigs to cover it up, in a sense, or I would still get blowouts because I wasn't still comfortable with the look of natural hair. But eventually I got used to it. So I think that's one of the things that a lot of females struggle with when they start embarking on their journey, their natural hair journey. They need to it takes time. Sometimes, I cannot just say, just embrace it off the bat, but it does take time, and eventually they will get there. So I think as a community, that is one of the things that I feel that it needs to get better. Like, we should inspire more people to embrace their natural hair. There's a lot more influences that are needed in different I can't think of the word right now, but for instance, when I went natural, I thought there were so many influencers out there. Mm-hmm. But when I became an influencer, people look after me, and I wish there were more people like me, with an African, I was raised in Africa, in Ghana, and there's not a lot of people like me in my space, and I would like to see a lot more people like me with an African background, influencing other Africans go natural and just embrace their natural hair. You know, and it's not just with Africans, with African American people of color, just we still need a lot more of us to inspire people to embrace their hair.
I definitely think you're paving the way for that, for more to get involved.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Tara Gyemibi, I said that right this time?
Yes, you said it.
Tara Gyemibi, yes.
Tara Gyemibi, yes.
Thank you so much for chatting with me today. I know, I really enjoyed it. I know the audience will appreciate it as well.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was so wonderful speaking with you and answering the questions.
Oh, thank you. We definitely can have another interview again down the line.
Okay, absolutely. I'll love to do it.
Okay, cool. So let everyone know also how they can keep up with you.
Okay, so if you're listening, thank you for listening. You can follow me on my Instagram at Mz Tara Belle. It's Mz Tara Belle, and that's the same Instagram handle for my YouTube platforms. And I used to have a Twitter, but I'm not really active on there. So I would just say my Instagram and my YouTube at Mz Tara Belle. And for my email, it's Tara, my first name, last name, at gmail.com. And I have that information when you go into my Instagram and you click email. It should just take you straight to my email account.
Definitely check Tara out if you have not already. Definitely. Thank you so much to all the listeners. And until next time, so booking cool.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mz Tara Belle on Instagram. My actual name is Tara Gyemibi, and you're listening to So Booking Cool.